If your own business is going to be online, of whatever, whether it's online music, whether it's clips, whether it's websites, blog websites or community websites, you've always got to think about what your content is. Because if you're in the job as a business, then you have to have a business model, you have to have a financial model. Somewhere along the line, you've got to earn your crust. And assuming that you're going to be trying to earn your crust legitimately, then you've got to be selling something that you own. If we go back to our example of the high street shop in the old days, Woolworths bought goods, put them in the shop, displayed them and sold them. But it had to buy the goods, ignoring any issues of when it actually paid for them. But it had to buy the goods to sell, so it acquired the rights to those goods. And that really is the essence of what the content issues are, I think, for online sites. Do I own all the rights in my content? What can I do then to protect it so that when I come to sell it, it's not already out there? Because content exists in every form. The content and ownership part, you've got to take a very holistic view, I think, of branding, because it touches on everything you do. Content comes in a number of ways. I can create my own content, which I can put on my site, whether it is my own photographers that I use to photograph the products that I'm selling, or whether it is the copywriters I use, or whether it is if I'm selling effectively what would be published material or music material, I've got to acquire a right in order to sell it. And how do I go about doing that? Well, the simple way is if you create it yourself, then you can own it. If you are a company and you create it via an employee, then the company will own it. But if you commission works, now we heard from Nick's talk earlier on, things are created by other people. Websites are created by other people. Design elements of your branding might be created by other people. The content that you're selling, the music, might be created by other people. And music in particular can exist in many different layers because, of course, you've got composition rights, you've got producer rights, performance rights. All these things have to be dealt with. The same, of course, for any visual media that are coming on. YouTube, of course, typically get themselves into, or historically have got themselves into a lot of trouble because people were uploading material that simply didn't belong to the people who were uploading it. But YouTube were providing the framework to enable that to be displayed. But if the YouTube uploader was looking to sell it, then you have to make sure that you own it. And there are certain very simple things, and this is where you sort of dumb down to the shop example again. It was easy for Woolworths in one sense to buy goods from somewhere, put them in the shop, display them and sell them. And it's all about that buying it from somewhere if you're not creating it yourself. You have to make sure that you're acquiring the rights that you need to be able to sell. Otherwise you'll end up in all sorts of trouble.